Hello students, today we're going to talk about your landmarks project. So the learning objective, I'm getting ahead of myself. The learning objective for this project is that you guys are going to use your knowledge of texture, which is one of the 7 elements of art, to create a realistic drawing of a US landmark. And then once you get done with your drawing of a US landmark, you're going to analyze the effectiveness of your work in the artist statement. So in your artist statement, you're basically going to tell me if you feel like you did a good job at drawing a realistic drawing of the landmark. You're going to tell me why you think it looks like the landmark or why you think it doesn't look enough like the landmark. You're also going to tell me if you think you created texture well and what you did to create that texture. So you can see here I have 2 different examples. Here we have the Grand Canyon. This is done in color pencil, and you can see they're using lots of different colors and blending and overlapping colors to create the texture of the dirt and the ground in the Grand Canyon. You can also see a little bit of water here. So they did a pretty good job at creating texture by using the different colors, and it does show the landmark pretty well. And then this one down here, you have the Hollywood sign. So you can see the Hollywood sign that they drew, and then they also drew the mountain that it's on with the green grass. And they did a decent job of showing texture by their pencil strokes, but I would suggest this student to add some little lines going up like this. You can see my cursor. That way it looks like the grass is sticking up the way grass actually does to create a more realistic grassy texture instead of this flat texture that you see here with this going that way. But they still did a pretty good job. Now from the lesson outline, you can see that there's lots of things you're going to do in this project. You may already be watching this project overview video. Then there is a short video about US landmarks, which tells you a little bit about some of the landmarks that you can pick from to draw. And then you're also going to tell me what is a landmark. You're going to tell me what you know about landmarks, maybe if you've been to one, things like that in your journal reflection. You're going to analyze some artwork, specifically a landmark with the landmark analysis worksheet. Then I have made a little informative sheet that has a list of some US landmarks and a little bit about them. And basically that sheet is just there for you to pick out which landmark you want to draw. It also has a little picture of each landmark, so you can look at that to help you with your drawing. Now you'll notice on this outline that there is not a demo video. So there's not a video of me showing you how to draw something. So you're going to have to rely on your own skills. And the reason I did that is because everyone's going to be drawing something different. You get to pick which landmark you want to draw. And so I wanted you guys to have the choice, but that also meant that I couldn't make a video since we're all not drawing the same thing. And then once you complete your drawing, you will submit it along with your artist statement. So one of the goals in this project is to use texture. So you want to make sure you're using texture accurately. So you can use texture to add detail, like you see in his beard. There's a lot of texture. It looks like hair. Okay. You can see that texture adds depth in the suit. So you can see all the wrinkles in the suit. So you know that it's 3-dimensional. And you can also add texture for expression. So you can see that in the background. Here's an example of texture. It looks pretty realistic to me. Now, for this project, like I said, you're going to be doing a landmark. You're specifically going to be drawing a landmark from that list on that informative sheet. So you can't do any other landmarks except the ones on that sheet. The Statue of Liberty is on that sheet, so you could do the Statue of Liberty if you wanted, but these 2 aren't US landmarks. So these are just examples that I wanted to show you for the sake of looking at the texture that you see in these pictures, but these are not some of the options you can use. But you're going to create a drawing of a landmark using pencil and colored pencil. And your goal is to make it look as realistic and as recognizable as possible. Your goal is also to create texture in the drawing. Okay, so like I said, you want to make it look realistic. So if it's a building, you're going to want to make sure that you are trying to create the texture of the bricks. If it is outside and there's grass, you want to make sure you're doing the texture of grass or the texture of the ground, things like that. So there's lots of different ways that you can do this, but it's going to be a little bit different depending on what landmark you decide to do. So I'm going to go back